whatever I learned of life is from Bastar, really.
What prompted you to write Hello Bastar, and what are you trying to say through it?
Well, Hello Bastar is really a labor of many years of travel through central and eastern India in what is widely known as the left-wing extremist affected districts of India. And most of these travels happened at a time when the editors or the intellectuals in New Delhi or elsewhere in India's bigger cities had absolutely very little idea about how this problem is going to consume us in many ways in the coming years, till the former Prime Minister, Mr. Manmohan Singh, called it India's biggest internal security threat. This book is basically about how a handful of young men and women who believed in a certain idea of revolution created the Naxal movement, the modern Naxal movement as we know, not the old Naxal movement.
While your previous book, Our Moon Has Blood Clots, was a memoir that rose out of personal and community experiences, Hello Bastar is more investigative in nature, made out of reportage and interviews. How different are both the processes, and was the latter more comfortable considering your journalistic background?
I think Hello Bastar was relatively an easy book to write because this was largely a part of what I do as a journalist. So writing this did not feel so hard as the other book which you mentioned, which is part memoir, part reportage about what happened to a minority community in Kashmir Valley. That book was more difficult to write because of the personal history involved. And as my editor, Meru Kukde, would know, I mean, if she recalls, there were times when I had to wade through patches of darkness because, the book became extremely difficult to write. But she did handhold me a few times during the process of writing the book, for which I remain grateful to her.
There must be a lot of things you would have learned during Hello Bastar. Was there one thing that particularly shocked you or was like a wild revelation?
I say to young people whenever I get a chance to interact with them, I say, I learned nothing in school or college. Whatever I learned of life is from Bastar, really. I spent weeks and weeks embedded with the Maoist guerrillas and sometimes spending time with the Adivasis in the back of beyond. So every journey, every day, there's been some learning or the other, and many of those learnings have, left me shocked, sometimes surprised, and sometimes also thankful that I could really travel to these parts and learn so much about these, not only about these people, but about life in general.
And was it difficult trying to, you were reaching out to a community which you didn't belong to essentially. Were you apprehensive or were they apprehensive in, sharing their life and story with you?
So this is again a part of a larger problem which at least Indian journalism suffers from, where journalists are just para-dropped at some place because a particular incident or an event has occurred, and they just spend a couple of days there piggybacking on the previous work of stringers or local resource person, and then they claim to understand everything about that area. I have typically in the past called it the clean bedsheet journalism, where you just leave a particular small town in the morning and make sure that you come back to the small hotel by evening. But that's not how things work, at least in Bastar. In Bastar, you have to spend a lot of time to understand the reality of Bastar. During the day when you're traveling in some village, on some road, there's a small tea shop, and sometimes you come across this man just having tea there. Sometimes conflict zones are also like snake pits. You don't know who is who. and the guy who you thought was a ordinary Adivasi would be an Naxal gorilla in the evening. But that is not when that is not something you will know if you just have a cup of tea there and proceed on back to your station. It doesn't work like that. I think I made a joke about it somewhere that some author, when he was writing his book, wrote that I spent this much time in Bastar and I was traveling through Jharkhand, but I did not meet a single Naxal. I think I made a comment at that point in time that Naxals are not like Coca-Cola, or Haldiram Bhujia. If you go to villages inside, the penetration of Haldiram Bhujia or Bikaner Bhujia is immense. You will find it everywhere. But that's not how, sadly, Naxals are to be found. You have to invest a lot of time before they let you in.
Does the fear of backlash or controversy of writing about sensitive subjects govern your writing in some way?
I think my two books, which are both now with the Penguin Random House, is a proof of the fact that I really don't care about labels. I've been called in the past a specialist of this and this. I refute that claim. I say I'm a student of India. Even my Twitter bio says that I'm a lifelong student of this country. There are some things. I came to journalism because I had what in Hindi is called jigyasa about some things. I had an intellectual curiosity about some of the things I saw around me, and I wanted to see them beforehand. So my modus operandi is clear. If I'm intrigued about something, if I want to seek answers, before I seek those answers on behalf of anyone else, I seek those answers on behalf of myself, for myself. And that's pretty much what has guided my reporting from anywhere in India. So I'm really not into what is fashionable to say and what is unfashionable to say. I say what I see, and I just write passionately about it as much as possible.
Do you have a particular target audience in mind when you write a book? And do you think Our Moon Has Blood Clots reached the right audience considering the current political climate of the country?
I think I'm glad that Our Moon Has Blood Clots came, when the politics was slightly simpler than this. So again, my understanding of writing is very simple. I am a firm believer of the fact that your writing should be accessible to the last man down. So there are many people who write to me almost every day saying that we have very scant understanding of English, but we have been able to read your books. I think that's my I consider that my strength. Your books should be accessible. I think the element of storytelling, the powerful storytelling, is mostly missing from Indian journalism. What I really want to do is to give the feel, the color and sound of that place, of those people, to people, and that comes only when you have a basic understanding of storytelling.
Politics shape every individual, especially a writer, and you quite directly write about overtly political issues, considering that pen is mightier than the sword and books have the power to shape individuals. Do you feel a heavy responsibility while writing?
Yes, there's a responsibility about what you are writing. But again, like I said, you should not worry about labels and all. What you see to the best of your ability. Your politics, I think, is we've just come to this terrible, ugly situation where everything is reduced to the binary of left and right. Everyone has this pressing need to put everyone in this particular basket. I would not like to be in any basket personally. I hate this basket system, this binary system. I personally give a lot of leeway to people. Most things around our universe are not black and white. They are shades of grey. There are certain nuances about everything. Who are we at the end of the day? Who are you? Who am I? We are a sum total of our experiences. That is what I've felt. So our politics is also shared by what an individual has gone through. So you should always keep that in mind before you accuse someone of, being an urban Naxal or a closet Sanghi or any other such labels.